Hey guys,
welcome back to our channel.
Plots with a Twist,
where we discuss books
amongst other things, and it's cozy season.
Very much cozy season. It's cuffing season.
Cuffing season, cozy season. And we realized we haven't done a little romance video in over a year. I think we did it like last Valentine's Day. So
we're a little early this time, but it's
nice. It relates to cozy cuffing season. So we thought we would give an update on some of our favorite romances. Since then, because this one been reading romance, gobbling up. And I've read a few too. So let's get into it. Okay. So boom.
Go ahead.
One of my favorites, and honestly you should read the first one too, is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. So it was a very cutesy, very demure, very lovey-dovey romance, but it was like a kind of build-up romance. So this one focused on Soledad. Soledad was I must like it because I remember the name. Soledad was a character in what's the first one? Before I Let Go. She was one of the friends of Yasmin. Okay. But Soledad, she's married. Relationship is kind of rocky. Things come to light that causes her to get divorced. And one of the people that she encounters shortly after her divorce is a nice, tall, dark, and handsome man who is there to help provide for her family if she wants it. And so it just follows her journey and kind of overcoming the situation she's in, and ultimately trying to fall in love with herself first, and being in a space where she can open up to somebody else. But do you deny something that's there because you're focusing on yourself or not? Who knows? So that's kind of like what the book kind of focuses on as far as Soledad's journey. And I'm looking forward to the third one, which I'm assuming is gonna focus on the other friend, Hendrix.
Oh yeah.
She's the one who, I don't need no love. I don't need no man. So we'll see. But that was one of my favorites. And that's, but like both of them are my favorites.
Okay. One of my favorites, I'm trying to find this so I can get my names and stuff, even though, anyway. Okay, so one of my favorites that I've read over the past year or so is the book number 1 in the McLean Brothers series from Alexandria House, and that's Let Me Love You. I think I've talked about
You said you talked about Let Me Hold You, I think.
Oh, okay.
One of them.
So this was the first book, and this is what set me on kind of like a roll with her books. Let Me Love You follows the oldest brother, rap legend Everett Big South McLean. And
Big South?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he is divorced, and he is just at the later part of his career. He's a rap legend now. He's done all the things, and he is just not really looking for somebody, but he happens to lay his eyes on this woman named Jo, who works for a jeweler, who he goes to get a chain made for his daughter. But really he don't want a chain. He just seen Jo, and he commissioned her for a piece so he could like talk to her and stuff. Jo is like, she has not been involved with anybody in some years, and she had like kind of like a tumultuous relationship with her child's father. She's also divorced, and now is trying to co-parent with her child's father, and it's just like, who also happens to be someone in the industry. But she doesn't live that lifestyle. She's just very much to herself. She's trying to make it on her own. And yeah, she meets Big South, and they just enter this kind of push and pull relationship. And I just loved it. It was so cute. The one thing I like about Alexandria House books, yes, they're very spicy. Very much it goes there. But all the characters and the stories have some dimension to it. They all have like some backstory, some type of, they've been through some things without it being like super traumatizing or super like, oh my god, like this is like super triggering. So I appreciate that about her books, because it's not just spicy just for the sake of being spicy. It's actually like some story there, and some like romance and some cute moments. So I loved it, and everything that she has. I feel like I've read almost everything that she's written at this point, because she has a lot of romance books, and a lot of them are series, and I've read all of them.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my fave.
Cool. Speaking of Alexandria House, I actually jumped on her bandwagon. Asia kept telling me to read them. And so I did read the St. Louis Sire series. So I'm just going to say them all together. And so that is assist, holding, goal, right? Goal, holding, goal, assist, holding, something like that, whatever the order is. They all focus on three hockey players on the St. Louis Sires team. And and just their different relationships or lack thereof, or developing, or second chance. So they all have kind of a different approach based on the character. First one, he's in a relationship just to kind of, check the boxes, but realizes he's lacking a true connection, and finds one in a nanny that is hired once he inherits. It sounds bad. Once he gains guardianship over his younger siblings that he didn't know existed. So that's kind of that one. Second one is a second chance romance. So a couple has been divorced, but they very much still have feelings for each other. And it kind of goes into just what happened with their relationship and how did they get to the point where they decided to divorce each other, and if they can find their way back to each other. And then the third one, he's dealing with some family trauma, really wants to find a family love connection, and build something real. And he meets a rapper, and they kind of have a similar background and just instantly click and kind of grow and build from there. But both of them, and her specifically, is also dealing with a lot of things as well. So very simple plots. I was able to actually describe all three of them in like less than a few minutes. And then, like you said, very spicy, but not like too much, just enough. The last one had a little bit more, but just enough. And then, like you said, it brings up those, makes the characters complex without overly doing it. Just lets you know that they have some things that they're working through, and she does it in a way where you're like, okay, that's heavy, but that's not the focus of this. It adds to their who they are, why they're going through certain things, but it doesn't distract you from the fact that this is a romance and you're here for the feel. So yeah, I enjoyed that series, and I will venture to check out some more of her books.
Yeah. Was the last one the one with the daughter, Big Sal's daughter?
The rapper Bianca Bambina.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of it. See, she got so many. Okay. So next on my list is I'm gonna do put them together. It's the Order and Chaos series from Alexis L. Maynard. So the first book was House of Bane and Blood, and then the second one was City of Mirth and Malice. And these are like romantices, I guess, fantasy romance books. And if you guys remember, it followed Camilla and Nikolai Atano from two opposing families who kind of like had a family history of rivalry against each other. And basically Camilla and Nikolai, basically to end the rivalry within their family and for like business purposes, they decide to get married. And of course they're rivals, so they hate each other. They're just doing this to to get some things in order in the city, because the city is descending into chaos. But with that comes like the romance part of it, and within the fantasy, and it had like some magical elements, and what do you call it, magical realism, and
just magic. If it's a fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So just some like magic and fantasy, and yeah, it was cute. I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of I picked up the books because somebody had described it as like Peaky Blinders meets like fantasy, and I was like, oh, that's my kind of thing. So I agree. It's kind of like that, only in the sense of that like they are it's a family with like a lot of brothers and cousins and stuff, and they're kind of like gangish. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. It had for most of the story, it's like between like the rivalry between the family and them trying to discover what's taking over the city. And then you get to the spice mostly towards the end of each book, which I enjoy because it's kind of like a nice little build up. So I appreciated that, but still very romantic. So I had to put it on the list.
Okay. So for me, one that tickled my fancy earlier this year was Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. So this one, I can't remember names on this one, but it's a woman. She is headed on a trip with her sister and her friends. Her sister's it's like her sister's bachelorette / wedding. So they're going out to Tulum a week before the wedding, and it's also her sister's fiance's and his groomsmen, and so they're there to spend a week there before the nuptials. And but her sister is engaged to her former boyfriend, and so her family continues to think she is have issues with the wedding and things like that, but she's like, no, I'm not tripping on it. But she's doing everything she can to help her family understand that, especially her sister, by making this week the best she can for her sister. But she needs a release, and she finds it in the best man. And he's fine. He likes her. They connect, and he wants to be her, chill pill for the week. But he's a serious guy. He means business. He wants more. Does she want more? So it's kind of like one of those where it's like quick, they get together. It's already set up where like they know each other, or even if they don't know enough about each other, they've been in the same, circles. And ultimately it kind of set the stage for like this quick connection, and the fact that they are in this setting that, they're together. It just, one of those fast-paced, like romance where it's like spice, but also a connection that seems plausible with a little mess, so it's just got the great ingredients that makes it an enjoyable romance. So I enjoyed it, and it's one of my faves.
Okay, so next for me is Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones.
That looked like a romance.
Right. But it was super cute. So I enjoyed this book. It follows Nalani Stark and Orion Sterling. So Nalani Stark, she is the CEO, CFO of like her family. Her family owns the chains of like supermarkets, and she's running the family business. She's like one of the top people, but her dad still owns it. Orion Sterling, he is a competitor who has basically just bought out her family's business right up under her nose. Right, hostile takeover. So, so in order for Nalani to gain, get back her family business and to stay in the family business, something that her family's worked really hard to get, she is, she's given this basically like this, not ultimatum, but an arrangement to go into, marriage with Orion, and basically they can't stand each other. They don't like each other. He seems like an a-hole, like he's not the type of guy that she sees herself with, but to save her family business, is it something she's willing to do? So that's how the book starts, and that's where you follow their journey into that. And I'm just gonna say it was good. I liked it because it was like a different take on romance, and I don't know, I like those, this is toxic, but I feel like I like those like, oh, we hate each other, now we love each other type.
Like those enemy to lovers tropes.
I really like that trope. I don't know why, but it does something for me. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cute read. I think this is the only book that I've read by her. I may have read another one, but I enjoyed it. I'll definitely check out some more romance books from that author based on Hostile Takeover.
Okay. So last for me is, I'm just going to say all of them, Emily Henry. But specifically, since I think our last video, I think I had Beach Read on there or whatever, which is very still much up there with one of my favorites. But I really enjoyed both Funny Story, and personally, I really enjoyed Happy Place. Asia was on the, fence about Happy Place, but I thought both were Really cute stories, but I'll focus more so on funny stories since that's the more recent book I read of hers. And yeah, I definitely really liked it. So funny story, I can't remember the characters' names, but it's basically, you know, a woman, she's engaged, she's ready to be married, her husband goes, or her fiance goes on a bachelor trip. His female best friend ends up going as well, and during the trip, you know, they profess their love for each other. And so he comes home to dump her, she comes home to dump her man, and pretty much they're left in a bind. The now exes, the woman and the other guy are now exes of, you know, the best friends. And so she has nowhere to live, so she proposes to stay, you know, with the other dumb person. So they're both trying to make the best out of the situation. And really, she hasn't really taken the time to get to know him. It's very temporary. She works, she only moved to this town for him, and she works in the library. So she is trying to get a job in her hometown or closer to her mother, something like that. And so she's just counting down the days till she can do that. But along the way, stuff starts to happen. The best friends, they get engaged, and both the exes receive an invite. And just to kind of spite her ex-fiance, she tells him that not only is she coming, she's bringing a date, and the date is his new fiance's ex. So it's like, no. So they, the two living together, it's confusing. I wish I knew names. The two exes, the two dumpies living together, they end up kind of getting to know each other a little bit more, connecting and being each other's support through this breakup that they're both experiencing. And in that, they find reprieve in each other, and it just builds and becomes maybe a connection that can bloom and blossom into more. So I just like how she does that, like how she takes these like situations that are kind of far-fetched, make them believable, and then not only make them believable, but make them very endearing, and like you really want to root for the people. So yeah, and this one was a funny story. It was very, it was humorous in moments and whatnot, which she does a good job of balancing humor with, you know, just really kind of smart writing. So I really enjoy her books overall. But yeah, I thought Funny Story was really cute.
Okay. So last on my list, I want to go with another Alexandria House.
Lord, you love her.
I know. So it's the last book in the St. Louis Cyclones book. It's the basketball team.
Is she from St. Louis?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We need to Google her.
Right. So this book follows bad boy of the NBA, Armand Daniels. And he's basically like, you know, just think Draymond Green if you
I was gonna say Dennis Rodman. That's aging me, huh?
Right. Okay, Dennis Rodman too.
But
like,
he was like weird.
Yeah.
No offense. Like good weird.
But yeah, so he just be getting into fights. He just be doing a lot. He just has a reputation of being a bad boy in the NBA. He has a temper, and just like people don't fool with him. I don't even watch basketball, but I know about Draymond Green. But anyway, so it follows him and Ellen McClain, who's Big South's daughter. Yeah, she's all grown up though in this book. So she is, you know, daddy's princess. She has her own. She's a model. She's been on reality TV, and she's just doing her own thing, right? Her and Armand, they come together. They cross paths in a way that I don't want to give away too much, because if you read the other books, then you'll learn like how they cross paths through like their families or whatever. And they embark on this unlikely relationship. Like nobody would ever think that they would, you know, be a match for each other. And yeah, they just have this chemistry with each other that is filled with passion and all types of things, and that they are kind of like trying very hard to keep to themselves and out of the public eye and away from their family. So I enjoyed this book so much. It was just really, it was different from the other two books in the series, because it did have maybe a little bit of like trigger warning things, but not like we said before, not like too much where you're just like, oh, I can't, this is too hardcore, too deep, I can't get into it. But just lets you know that the characters are dealing with some real issues. And what I like about Alexandria House, her characters always seem to like work through those issues, so it doesn't, you're not wondering like why, like, well, why are you still doing this, why are you still doing that? It's like, no, they have some development over the course of the short book. So I enjoyed it. It was cute, very spicy, all the things. And yeah, if you haven't read Alexandria House, read her, because she's got some good romance books, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
All right, so hopefully we made some recommendations in the process of sharing our favorites that you can check out for this cozy cuffing season. Or if you've read some of these, share your thoughts. Are they your favorites as well? Like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll be back next time. Bye.